Hello, everyone. It's been a while since I did a video. If you celebrate, Happy New Year. Um, I thought it was time to do this video because it's getting to the point where I've said a lot and I'm just going to reiterate all of it. So, as of just the last couple of days, I know we've had a lot of stuff going on outside of our country, but Elon Musk is getting ready to mass produce the chip in our heads. So, like I said, the AI takeover has to happen because the entities that we're dealing with really hate the human race and need to have us merge with it for singularity purposes. And there's so many other purposes, but singularity is most definitely what they want, which is consciousness. And they want to merge with our consciousness because of who we are. We're creative, we're unpredictable, you know, we have consciousness that can't really be figured out unless you experience it. Each of us, we have our own things that we think about, our own struggles, our own wonderful thoughts, and, a lot of negativity, but it ultimately has to be controlled to get us under control. So I know there's a lot of people that'll probably benefit from getting a chip in their head, and I don't care. People are going to do what they want to do, no matter what, and that's okay. That's the whole thing about free will and choice. As of right now, we have free will to put those things into our body, and you know, eventually, we won't be able to do anything without being connected. And with all the surveillance and all the other technologies that are being put on us right now, we don't have that much time. And I believe that 2026 will be that year to unveil everything, you know, because we are looking towards an agenda right now. And as far as time goes, we have to have all these things pass because they understand that a lot of people's consciousness has risen beyond out of their control, and they can only do that by presenting us with the events that have been happening and seeing how we react, you know. But the thing about consciousness is that it's mine and it's already connected to something that's so much greater than this realm, greater than my experiences here. It's just greater. It's more than. It can't be contained. It's energy. And so for singularity to happen, they have to control that part of our brain that brings the consciousness out, that brings our spirit out, that brings, that side of us out. They have to have control over it. And, for me, it's just a no-brainer. I don't care if I suffer. I don't care. I'm working on ascending. Going through ascension, I've been shown so many things. I've had so many experiences to me that I know that you don't have to necessarily perish in your body to ascend. And, there's been documented cases of it happening. So I'm sure that I wouldn't have been shown that if it wasn't something that I can do. And I've experienced it to the point where I understand it and I had actual experiences, you know. So I'm not so much worried either way, suffering or not. Um, it's my spirit that's prepared. Yes, things hurt and it's uncomfortable, but it's much better than being lost in some giant mainframe system, some hive mind system. And I'm just not for that. And what you choose to do, there's no judgment from me or anybody else like me who chooses not to. Because, see, when you take the time to really look at all the events, which we're going to be having the Gog Magog war soon, And the only reason why I call it that is because I was told that this last summer. And that's, when Iran and Russia, go up against you know who. And that's all come to pass. I mean, everything's coming to pass. The AI war, the human war, the war for your soul, the war for your thoughts. And it's really hard because when you can't put food or water into your system and you can't live anywhere anymore. I mean, I can't judge anybody for not understanding how to navigate the new world without being in it. And I get it. It's just I far removed myself long ago. It's been 15 years of not participating, and just getting through with gratefully, I'm so grateful to William, but on such a minimal basis, and I was just shown the ugliness so early on, and I could cognitively think, and I do things with my spirit. So it was always really, like shocking and hurtful when things would happen. And I'd always be like, oh my gosh, but at the same time, it was like I had to go through that suffering. I had to. Otherwise, I wouldn't understand what's happening right now. I would be terrified if I didn't know who I was. So if you're scared for, all the things that are coming to pass, I get it. And I'm not judging you on that. There's no judgment for me. I'm telling you, you have to know who you are. And that's what I've been saying the whole time. Everything is within us, and that's what they're trying to grab and take hold of. And they're going to do it through the fear of you not being able to eat or have a place to live or medicine or whatever it is. But you are not this body or this mind. You are the soul. You are the spirit, ultimately. The soul connects you to the spirit. And I think 2026 is going to be really challenging when people realize the things that I've been saying. I know I took down most of my videos, but the people that have been here with me on this journey, and I thank you guys. I've talked about the AI, I talked about all of it. I talked about, the poison in your arm. I talked about it from the jump. I was told about this. I had received my messages in 2018, 2019, and it's all happening. So the Gog Magog war will be coming soon, and there are different thoughts on that, but it's actually lining up. So some of the people out there that have talked about it um, are lined up, and I really wish that I could have said more, but I was been videos being taken down, almost getting my channel taken away every year since I started. You know, just for speaking truth, and that's okay. I got to the point where, you know, I think anyone who's watched me for this time knows that more than anything, this channel was not about fear. It was about connecting you back to your spirit, to your soul, to our creator, and understanding and being able to recognize the things that were going on around you and not walk in fear with it. Just walk with the knowing that no matter what, you were going to protect your spirit and your soul more than anything, and that you were going to detach from this world, and that one day your time was going to be up, and that it doesn't matter when that time is, and that you should be able to have more control over that time. It shouldn't be because you were in fear and you had to go into a system and get a chip in your head and get to live in a little section of a city and be monitored, and all of the things that are happening to us as I speak, and plus more. you know and I just think it's like shows how pathetic these creatures are, how completely if they were only connected to the true creation, to the true creation, the source of all things, and not living in their religions and their messed up ideologies, and if they all would have stood up to this thing from the start, even if they held this dirty, rotten energy in them when they came in, being human meant something. Being human meant that you were going to make mistakes, that you were supposed to learn, and that no matter how rotten you were, at any point you could have stood up to this energy. And there's people who think they're in charge of my consciousness and your consciousness, and that's not cool. You know, that's the ultimate, taking away your free will, taking away your right for personal thoughts and growth, and your right to be poor, your right to be rich, your right to be in the middle. It's all being taken away. And it's a sad world at the end, but there are so many people who have woken up and are going to continue to really wake up this year, because they're going to realize that they put their self-worth and their spirit into something. And everyone has that moment when they go, this isn't what I want. I don't want some experimental thing put in my head. I don't want to be controlled. I don't want to be surveillanced. I don't care how sick I am. I don't want AI to fix me. I don't want that life. For what? To live another 20, 30, 40 years in this place? It's so irrelevant. The time is so irrelevant. It's so short. With everything speeding up, I mean, you could give yourself over and only have like a year left. You do something wrong and they'll shut you down, I mean, it's just like the control over human beings is absolutely sad and disgusting. And I'm just grateful that I woke up. I knew who I was. I've been having these experiences since I was 3. I suffered a lot, but it brought me to this point so I would be ready. And I know I'm ready. It's not that I like it or I'm comfortable, like, oh, this is great having all these things thrown at us all the time. But at the same time, I know who I am and I know who you are, because what's in me is in you. And we truly are one with our Creator. And it was up to us to save ourselves. And, religion didn't tell us that. Our indoctrination didn't tell us that. Our disconnect from who we are didn't tell us that. We were supposed to find out ourselves. So this year is going to be extremely much harder than what it's already starting out at, and whatever people choose to do, they will do, and that's on them. It's not my spirit. I wish for all the souls to go home, and I'll be ready, and I will be there when the souls are ready to go, because I know what I am and who I am and what I'm going to do. And if you are still not sure who you are or why you're here, well, you are a human as long as you can connect to love. And ultimately, it was love outside of yourself, outside of the people you love, that you were supposed to learn and connect back to. It wasn't this superficial love that had all these stipulations on it here. This is the false love. The true love was outside of yourself, through your spirit. You were supposed to learn that and connect to a higher energy. So basically, everything is energy that you're connecting to. It's not a little old man with a beard, it's not some woman. It's none of those things. This energy isn't male nor female. It is your spirit. And your spirit has no sex, and it has no other connection but to this unconditional love that has no darkness in it. And that's why we are experiencing singularity, the ones that are choosing to go through it. And I have chosen, obviously. and I've stood my ground with all of it. So I love you guys dearly. I really hope that you can connect to something outside of what you're being shown and make a choice, because it's time to make that choice, because once Elon Musk starts mass production of this, it's not going to be much long after that when it's mandatory, so you can participate in a system that you were going to die out of, depending on your age, really soon. So it makes no sense, not to me. And I understand why people choose to do it and die in it, however quick it will be for them, because they don't know anything outside of the material life and what they've been told. And that's the problem. You're supposed to go past all that and really, really figure out what your spirit is, not your spirit here in this physical body, your spirit outside of this. You're supposed to quiet your mind. Anyhow, I love you all dearly. Thank you for watching my videos, and leave me a comment. Much love, and hopefully I can do some soon, but we have big projects we're doing because we are going off grid. Anyhow, much love. Bye.